Good morning. It is actually morning. I've been up for a few hours, but I'm still like I just got up. Things do change, when you get older and you retire and you don't have to get up and go to a job. I mean, there's wonderful things about retirement, but then there's also the fact that you don't have any money. Unless you planned ahead and you prepared and you have money. Um, I never did. I've always flown by the seat of my pants. And faith. And I mean down to the bare nubbins. And I've experienced a lot of miracles. I'll have to try to remember them so I can share them because they were pretty cool. I know my blood got pumping pretty good, especially when I told about it and the energy. I mean, sometimes I've had some miracles happen to me. I think maybe even in the last couple of years, the last year, and even now, there are miracles happening all the time. And I didn't know what I was going to talk about when I got on here. And I don't want to, you know, there's good and bad. You can't experience the good unless you've had the bad. And you can't really understand faith until it's been put to the test. Now, you can say you believe, but do you? Do you really? Last year, I got diagnosed with breast cancer. And it was quite an eye opener, quite a trip, quite devastating. But then, like I said, miracles happen. And sometimes you got to go to the depths of hell to come back out and understand and see. I have had that happen a few times to me. But this last year, what happened with the cancer, I've got quite a story to tell. But I can tell you this. The Mormons, I'm going to talk about them a lot because that's what I am. But there's a song called The Spirit of God Like a Fire is Burning. Well, let me tell you what. They're, I'm not exactly sure if they were probably talking about a powerful testimony. Um, but I can tell you, I felt the Spirit of God in me. One morning I was on fire, and I wasn't in pain, wasn't hurting, but my body, my inner works of my body, everything was on fire. And I had been praying and praying and praying and praying, I wasn't really praying to be healed. I was praying to know what to do. What should I do now? See, this is a really long story, and some of it's real exciting. And actually, all of it is, especially if you face cancer yourself. Here's a bad thing I'm going to say. So I preface it, that's not good. Um, no, I said, if you live long enough, you're going to die of something unless Jesus comes first. And then if he comes, you don't got to die. But I know he's coming soon, and I've said that for years, and time is an elusive thing because once you get on the tail end of your life, you realize that time has flown by so fast. And oh my God, you know, you got to get busy. You ain't got long left. And I don't usually like the word ain't, but I do say it quite a bit, I guess. So, and I know it's in the dictionary now, but it still doesn't sound the best. Anyway, so now I've gotten distracted and I didn't know what I was going to say when I got on here, but I felt, I felt the Spirit of God in my body. And I think it was at least a couple of hours. It wasn't like it just came and left. And I don't really know how to describe it. But I had a lot going on. I had a lot going on in my mind trying to figure out. And, I was going to be going to the hospital and talking to the oncologist, and I knew what they wanted me to do. I didn't want to do it. And so I reached out to my stake president. There's a big old story behind all that because I haven't been active. And he ended up being my follow-up care doctor after I had my cataracts taken out and new eyeballs put in. Crystals, they were crystals. Marvelous, wonderful thing, because I was blind for more than 6 months. I don't know how long it was, but it was a horrible, horrible time. Because, first of all, it was all new to me. All of a sudden, I couldn't see. So there you are. Lost, period. If I left this trailer, I lived in this little teeny trailer. Thank God for that. Because then I could move around in small places. Then I knew my trailer. But boy, when I went outside one day and all of a sudden I was lost. And I was just outside the door, but I didn't know which way to go. And I knew if I went the wrong way, I was going to be even more lost. And I can see a story coming up. There's all kinds of analogies that I do. I've been doing analogies forever. You analyze something and then you write down what you have observed. That's what my papers are, a lot of them. And then some of them are, or they're all freestyle poetry, analyzing life and where we're going after life. What is the end result of this life? It's not death, because when you leave here, you're going somewhere else. And it's not like reincarnation, okay? I'm not sure how I feel about that. My girlfriend believes that and has searched out her lives, and she's a shaman, and she has special gifts, and so I'm not going to say there's not reincarnation. And I will also say something else. During a time when I was on a mountain, my daughter was in kindergarten. I lived on 500 acres. I was renting a house from a guy who ran cattle on the 500 acres. A lot of things happened up there, and I can't remember why I went to there. See, that's what happens to me is I lose my train of thought. I start on one little trail and I end up many different places, so it's kind of difficult. That was a wonderful time up there on that mountain, though. See, I forget why I went up there. In these words, anyway, I forget why I went up there. I know why I went up there. Magical things happened up there, too, and it's still Washington. It's Washougal, Washington, up in the mountains. It was 15 miles up the mountain. It was so beautiful. And I did spend a lot of time with the Lord up there because I had this insatiable urge. I had to learn. I needed to learn something. And the only thing I had up there was my scriptures. And see, I moved up there with this girl to help her out. And then a month later, she moves out on me and leaves me everything. I mean, that was the bills, just the rent alone was more than my check that I got, which is pretty bad. But I still stayed there 10 months. I did good because I did gain things there. Knowledge, experience, serenity. It was so beautiful. It's kind of like, if you ever seen The Sound of Music and she's frolicking in the field, well, that was me. There were great things that happened up there. And I forget why I went there in this conversation, so I'm going to have to stop that. And maybe it's a good time to stop now because I'm right about at 10 minutes. I don't know how long I'm supposed to do these things. I could probably talk forever. But then you'd never know where I was because I'd be so lost from where I started. I'm doing this for therapy, okay? Part of it is therapy because talking is good. And I talk to myself all the time, out loud. I think it's a good thing. In fact, I think they've realized that, it's pretty smart. But there's different ways of learning, different ways of doing things, and I have to tell myself what to do. Okay? I have to hear it come out of my mouth, and then I can do it. I can organize better that way. I have special ways of doing things. And I have not got a problem with it. Okay? I understand it. However, other people might not. Anyway, I've passed my 10 minutes now. I love all you guys, okay? Men, women, children, old people. Just don't be mean, because I don't love mean. I love sweet. I can be really mean, too. I'm usually as good as, I believe in the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. But I also have I'm normal. I'm natural. Normal? No, I'm not normal. I'm Abby normal. But, see, I can forget so fast when I'm starting with. You just never know. You hear my dog out there? I better go let him in. Anyway, I know. That's where I was. I was telling you guys how much I love you. Okay? You're my brothers and sisters. And I don't know what you're going through in life, but I know what I've been through. I've been down a lot of trails. I've had joy, but I've had a lot of sorrow. I've been betrayed. I've been loved. But love has to be a two-way street. And then it's not just the word love. It's a feeling. It's an emotion. It's intensity. It's all kinds of things. And I'm already past 12 minutes. I better stop. Okay, I'm gonna try to use this. Take care and have a great day. Okay, I'll be back with more sometime.